Roads are dangerous enough with the vehicularly challenged behind the wheel, and the last thing we need is a treacherous slope overlooking a ravine or a rickety bridge fit for a horror film. But sadly, you can find these failures of medieval and modern engineering all around the world. Paths that would make the ice road truckers think twice about leaving their truck stop. Join us as we explore some of the most dangerous roads in the world. The Atlantic Ocean Road. The words ocean road might bring about pictures of a scenic and peaceful ride down the coastline, but the Atlantic Ocean Road is quite the opposite. This is a stretch of 5.2 miles out in the country located in Norway that runs from the southwest of Kristiansand to the north of Molde. This road is supported by a line of islands of an archipelago. During the kindest of weather, this road provides scenic views, but these views are much like the sirens of myth, in that they can distract drivers and cause them to drive straight off the road. Luckily, however, those beautiful days are few and far in between. That's because most days you're going to find yourself driving down a dreary overcast path to hell with some fearsome waves crashing on either side of you. And if that doesn't happen, you'll find yourself in a dangerous snowstorm, making the road virtually unnavigatable. There are 8 bridges on this road overlooking the sinister waters below, so it's best really not to look down while driving. The treacherous curves and dips are enough to make the strongest of stomachs nauseated. And for some reason, this road is one of the largest tourist attractions in Norway. The road was originally chartered to be a path of the railway, but the idea was quickly abandoned because it was too impractical. Bayburt of Yolu D915. The Bayburt of Yolu D915, or more commonly known as the D915, might be the most dangerous road in the world. Located in the Trabzon province of Turkey, this road barely qualifies as a road. It's not paved, it doesn't have any guardrails, and it also has a fairly nonsensical destination. This road really should be reserved for the criminally insane. It stretches 65 miles and contains 29 hairpin turns, all that lead up to a peak that's 2,035 feet above sea level. The road consists mostly of gravel and dirt, so it's nearly impossible to find a comfortable amount of traction. On each side of every hairpin turn, there lies an over 100-meter drop for those who might fall victim to a bit of vertigo. The Turkish winters are not looking to do the drivers any favors either. The road is often shrouded in mist, rain, or snowfall, and that leaves it all prone to avalanches and landslides. The rain often makes the dirt road slick and muddy, and in fact, this road is so dangerous that when there's a light rainfall, the government temporarily shuts down the road in order to prevent casualties. Needless to say, it might be best if you didn't take your driver's license test on the D915. The Death Road. At least this road doesn't really try to hide its treachery with a flowery name or ambiguous numbers. The Death Road, located in the Yungas region of Bolivia, is one of the most famous dangerous roads in the world. This 43-mile road connects La Paz and Coroico. The road was once awarded the title of the most dangerous road in the world until a bypass was built nearby. While it was operational, it was estimated that around 200 to even 300 people would die each year, all while attempting to travel the road. While on their trip, drivers can expect a 1,000-meter drop-off on the unguarded side of the cliffs, and the road itself is mainly loose gravel that can give way at any time. And history shows us that it's happened more than once. Because of the loose gravel and the loose rock in the area, landslides are an ever-prevalent threat to the wayward hiker. This road's storied history caused it to become a tourist attraction for thrill seekers around the world in the early 1990s. And of course, upon the influx of travelers, the death toll would skyrocket. It was because of this that the Bolivian government decided it was time to build a bypass. The road is, however, still accessible for those who dare to walk it. The Piste de Jafar. While it is not an Aladdin villain, it might as well be with the treachery that surrounds it. The Piste de Jafar leads to a natural valley created by a glacial erosion called the Cirque de Jafar. The Cirque and the Piste were both named after nearby tombs and a village of Piste de Jafar. This ominous path leads to the higher parts of the Eastern Atlas Mountains in North Africa. The 49-mile trek features slopes that measure up to a 50-degree incline, and even some of the most powerful sport utility vehicles have a difficult time navigating the tough road. As the road was not man-made, you will be unhappy to find out that the normal rules of the road do not apply to this gateway to hell. Like on many other of these sinister roads, cars coming up the mountain have the right of way in order to force drivers coming down the mountain to control their speed. And to add insult to injury, once you start to rise to the upper levels of the Atlas Mountain, you're going to experience heavy rain and snowfalls throughout the day. These snowfalls make the road infinitely more dangerous and often cause drivers to halt until the storm passes over. The Fairy Meadows Road. Once again, a slope of death has been shrouded in flowery verbiage. As I'm sure you're aware of by now, you shouldn't let the name fool you into thinking that driving down this road would be anything like a fairy tale. This unmaintained death trap, located in Pakistan, has taken the lives of many drivers and hikers over the years. It's a 100-mile stretch of road that begins on the Karakoram Highway and leads to a town near the Fairy Meadows, hence the name. The path itself is completely gravel and is merely 73 inches wide, so if you're planning on traveling it, you may want to diet ahead of time. This is also the road that hikers take when they're ambitious enough to try to climb Nanga Parbat, the 9th tallest mountain in the world. The road is also a private toll road, as it was built by villagers centuries ago. And seeing as how you have to pay a toll to travel on it, nobody really knows why it goes unmaintained. As if all this information wasn't bad enough, avalanches and rock slides are known to block certain parts of the road during the year. So if you're looking to travel down this road, be sure that you plan for your trip during the summertime, as locals tend to close the road during the winter to avoid unnecessary casualties. Inferno Muir downhill. Now, if you're looking for some downhill slopes to die on, it's only natural that you should go to the most famous ski destination in the world, the Swiss Alps. Though the road is only 9.2 miles long, it's certainly full of twists, turns, and traps. The angle of the road is measured to be roughly about 60 degrees. For reference, sane people usually ski down this slope in the wintertime. The top of the mountain is nearly 10,000 feet above sea level, and the drive downhill sports no guardrails or really any kind of semblance of consistent traction. One moment you may be driving on gravel, and the next you could find yourself sliding down a strip of hard-packed snow and grass. Due to these conditions, the road is only open for drivers during the summer months, and during the winter months, it turns into a ski slope. But if it makes you feel any better, Range Rover has a commercial where their newest vehicle safely navigates down the slope. But exactly how many vehicles were used in the commercial, we may never know. Engineer Pass. We can assure you that whatever engineer built this pass definitely did not go to MIT. This terrible excuse for a road is located in the San Juan Mountains in Colorado. The road connects 4 cities across Colorado, including Silverton, Lake City, and more. The road resides around 13,000 feet above sea level and just over 20 miles long. The road itself is mostly loose gravel and has no guardrails, so it's not really recommended that you travel this road during the wintertime, because it's said to be virtually unpassable during that time of the year. Though this road provides endless peril for those who are looking to cross it, many tourists still find it to be a main attraction. As the road was made for mining purposes, it would lose its use after a number of years. This means that along the 20-mile stretch, there are numerous abandoned houses, ghost towns, and mines to get lost in. For those interested in fishing, there are also numerous water holes and waterfalls for you to throw a line down. While this is a dangerous trail, it may be one of the more scenic routes in the world. So it's hard to believe that the man who built the $1 million highway was also responsible for building this road. Talk about a sophomore slump. Skipper's Canyon. Skipper's Canyon is not only one of the most dangerous roads in the world, but also one of the most interesting roads because of its century-and-a-half history. Located on New Zealand's southern island, this 16.5-mile road is one of the greatest feats of 19th century engineering. But you may be asking, why? Well, it's because the whole road was hand-carved by miners, and it happened over 140 years ago during the gold rush. The canyon itself is said by science to have been formed over 25,000 years ago by a melting glacier, which left pounds of gold in its sediment. Miners were in hot pursuit of the gold, and it's obviously what brought about this need for innovation. The road was initially only built for foot traffic, but in the early part of the 20th century, the bold and the brave decided to try to traverse the path using motor vehicles. Like many of the other roads that we've mentioned before, this road is often victim to rock slides, avalanches, and a lack of safety barriers. Perhaps one of the more inconvenient parts of driving down this road are the potholes. Many travelers often remark about popped tires and bent rims, all due to trying to go across the canyon. The absolute worst part though, the path is only the width of a small sport utility vehicle. This means that if you try to traverse on it, you should pray that there's no opposing traffic while you're out for your joyride. And if you do happen to run into someone coming the opposite way, one of you is going to have to choose to drive in reverse until there's a gap wide enough for both of you to pass each other. Oh, and the most famous part of the path? It's called Skipper's Bridge. And that bridge is 2.2 meters wide, and a suspension bridge that dangles nearly 100 meters over the river. So it's safe to say that it's likely a less than stellar place to have road rage. And finally, for those with gephrophobia, you won't want to be crossing the Ashima Ohashi Bridge in Japan. That's because images that have surfaced online make this cable-style bridge look like a humongous slip and slide for cars. However, it's all just smoke and mirrors, because the bridge is actually rather tame and only looks like a monster when viewed head-on. When viewed from the side though, images reveal that the bridge is actually rather gradual and completely safe. Well, as safe as a bridge can be, that is. This has been a look at some of the most dangerous roads in the world. Which ones have you been on, and what did we miss? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Minneapolis is the biggest city in Minnesota, and once upon a time it was the flour milling capital of the world. And it's also home to a rich artistic culture. Prince was born in Minneapolis, and Bob Dylan got his